So, one of the things, Andrew Tate's been gone now for a few months, for a couple months.
Wow.
And one of the things he would be very proud of, there's somebody else that's trying to replace him, Don Lemon. Don Lemon's been working very hard to be the new Andrew Tate.
Great intro right there.
And it's important to see this, when you watch this clip of what he said the other day. By the way, when he said this, I retweeted this yesterday, and I said, it's obvious. I'm telling you right now, I'm convinced Don Lemon is obsessed and in love with Andrew Tate and watches nonstop videos and clips of. The only reason you would say something like this is because you watch certain clips of. Go ahead and play this clip real quick. See what he said and he got in trouble for it.
All the talk about age makes me uncomfortable. I think it's the wrong road to go down.
Watch
she
this.
says people, politicians or something are not in their prime. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry. When a woman is considered to be in her prime in her 20s and 30s and maybe 40s.
What are you talking? Wait.
That's not according to me.
Prime for what?
It depends. I mean, it's just like prime. If you look it up, it'll say, if you Google when is a woman in her prime, it'll say 20s, 30s, and 40s. I don't necessarily.
40s. Oh, I got another.
I'm not saying
decade.
I agree with that. So I think she has to be careful about saying that politicians aren't in their prime.
You need to qualify. Are you talking about prime for like child boring, or are you talking
don't shoot
about
the messenger.
prime
I'm
for
just
being
saying
president?
what the facts are. Google it. Everybody at home.
Google it.
Prime. It says 20s,
There we
30s,
go.
and 40s. I'm just saying Nikki Haley should be careful about saying that politicians are not in their prime and they need to be in their prime when they serve.
By the way, if that was Whoopi Goldberg on his left, at this 5 seconds ago in this clip, he would have been shot on camera.
But hey, do you notice? For first, two things. First, he goes, "I don't want to go down that road." You know what he did? He went down that road.
Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here, folks.
Fell down the stairs.
But what do you see? Like, this is his sassiness. That was him. That's how he actually feels. And at the same token, he's a hardcore leftist. That's throwing the jab to let people know.
But
he shouldn't be running.
Here's a question, though.
Yeah.
Is he truly a hardcore leftist, or has he been spending too much time with hardcore leftists? Words have power. Influence has power. Tom shared a clip the other day with me. I'm going to show you guys here in a second. What is your reaction, Yeonmi, when you hear he says what he says, that Nikki Haley is past her prime, while Hillary Clinton's in her 70s thinking about running, while Kamala Harris is older than Nikki Haley? What do you think about when you hear that comment he makes?
I think he's just desperate trying to make a point that why she's not qualifying for the job, right? But I mean, it's interesting to see him getting pushed back on CNN. I don't think they ever push back anybody who's Democrat, right? So maybe CNN is trying new thing. I don't know.
Well, apparently he's suspended. He gave an apology to CNN and his colleagues from Miami. However, never apologized to Nikki Haley. He's in Miami right now. If people
with his husband.
Yeah. And go ahead. So
I
he's
think
gay.
100%.
He's gay. Okay.
Oh yeah, not Adam.
That's not my boyfriend.
Yeah, no.
Anymore. So here's what's happening. You ever see like one of those like scary movies, and they're like, "Where's it coming from?" And it's like, the call's coming from inside the house.
Yeah,
that's exactly what's happening here on their morning show. Two women in their 40s, nonetheless.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Oh, you old broads!"
Yeah,
like, whoa, what just happened here? The call just came from inside the studio. So what he's conflating, and this is just clearly he just Googled prime. He's conflating two things: a woman's sexual market value with her actual market value, and there's two completely separate things. He is correct that a woman's sexual market value is, let's just say, 40 and below.
What does that mean?
Sexual market value is when most men are attracted to women. It's usually in their mid-20s, give or take. That's a sexual market value, okay? Whereas a man reaches his sexual market value typically in his late 30s, typically. So women, they're beauty objects, where men are success objects. That's what it comes down to, the sexual market value. What he's conflating, again, is sexual market value with market value. You could be a hell of a governor or a businesswoman or an entrepreneur or anything well into your 40s, 50s, 60s. And whether you like Hillary Clinton or not, she was a capable politician. Let's just put it at that. So Nikki Haley, who's in her 50s, market value is arguably at its highest it's ever been, whereas her sexual market value might not be that high right now. So I think Don Lemon is just trying to make a point, and his foot is so far in his freaking mouth right now that he's just like, vacation Miami, bye, I'm out.
Here's what I want you to watch. I want you to watch this. This is the old Don Lemon when he first got into media, and just not first. This is not that old, just so you guys know. This is like 5-10 years ago. But listen to how Don Lemon spoke just 10 years ago.
You say the old. I think this is the real.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because black people, if you really want to fix the problem, here's just 5 things that you should think about doing. Here's number 5. And if this doesn't apply to you, if you're not doing this, then it doesn't apply to you. I'm not talking about you. Here's number 5. Pull up your pants. Walking around with your ass and your underwear showing is not okay. In fact, it comes from prison when they take away belts from the prisoner so that they can't make a weapon. And then it evolved into which role a prisoner would have during male-on-male prison sex. The one with the really low pants is a submissive one. You get my point? Number 4 now is the N-word. By promoting the use of that word when it's not germane to the conversation, have you ever considered that you may just be perpetuating the stereotype the master intended, acting like a nigger? Now, number 3.
Jesus.
Respect where you live. Start small by not dropping trash, littering in your own communities. I've lived in several predominantly white neighborhoods in my life. I rarely, if ever, witness people littering. I live in Harlem now. It's an historically black neighborhood. Every single day I see adults and children dropping their trash on the ground when a garbage can is just feet away. Just being honest here. Number 2, finish school. You want to break the cycle of poverty? Stop telling kids are acting white because they go to school or they speak proper English. A high school dropout makes on average $19,000 a year. A high school graduate makes $28,000 a year. A college graduate makes $51,000 a year. Over the course of a career, a college grad will make nearly $1 million more than a high school graduate. That's a lot of money. And number 1, and probably the most important, just because you can have a baby, it doesn't mean you should, especially without planning for one or getting married first. More than 72% of children in the African-American community are born.
Can you imagine this is Don Lemon?
Yeah, exactly.
That
Listen.
means absent fathers.
No, keep playing.
And the studies show that lack of a male role model is an express train right to prison. And the cycle continues.
Are you kidding me?
Could I ask you a question, Pat? What changes? My question from
No, I
that
think
guy.
this is him. I think this is
no,
him.
I agree with that. What happened?
By the way, look at her face.
Yeah.
Can you
Is that
zoom in
shock?
her face? Are you
Yeah.
shocked or what?
She's a Trump.
Don Lemon sounds like Trump.
Well, who that actually does sound like is a lot very reminiscent of Thomas Sowell. Like
Yeah, yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the type of message you would hear from a black
Yeah.
conservative, like a Thomas Sowell type.
Yes.
And it just, you never hear him talk like that anymore.
Point 2
but-
is Patrick Bet-David.
But yeah, but here's my question to you guys though.
The other great black thought leader.
What makes you change? What makes someone like that with actually a good voice? Yes, I see the logo that it's CNN, which I don't even give a damn at that point. How does he change, or what changes in the network that he has to turn into this person? You know what I mean? What I don't know. What your politics?
The answer.
Producer?
The answer is what Yeonmi said.
Donald
It
Trump.
was Trump.
It
was
No, but here's
the Obama-Trump thing.
Yeah.
Fucked people's heads up.
I agree.
Beyond compare.
I agree. But you did. But I mean, dude, you still have a producer. Like, think about this. CNN let him say something like this. There is no way in hell CNN is letting Don Lemon say this type of shit.
What
on
year
air.
was that?
I have no idea.
2013. Okay. Who was
2013.
president in 2013?
Obama.
Obama.
Yeah.
So under the Obama administration,
It was okay to be cool.
no, it was just
to be normal?
it was
Say normal
okay to
shit?
call out the nonsense.
By the way, it was the
And then
middle of Obama. It was 2013 after he was reelected.
Correct.
Yeah.
So in the middle of Obama, you as a pundit, opinion, not a journalist,
Yeah.
a pundit, are giving your opinion on what black people should do to clean up their life. Much like we talked about how Asians and Jews and Indians, what they do in the family culture. Okay, but once Trump hit the scene, it no longer became a, hey, this is what you need to do to help your life. This is what you need to do for success. Pick up your pants, go to school. None of that. It was just fuck Trump.
Yeah.
And that's where this whole narrative basically veered off course.
That was a great point. That was so funny.
by the way, so you just have to think about this. You become who you hang around with.
I agree.
Words have power. If you're around people that are influencing you to think like a victim, you will. if you're around people that will tell you stop feeling sorry for yourself, you're either eventually going to hate them and go find people who feel sorry for themselves, or you're going to be like, you know what, stop feeling sorry for yourself, man. Life is a lot harder other places, right? So this message here tells you the difference between thinking for yourself and then all of a sudden getting into the mainstream media. And those guys trying to control you and tell you what you have to think in the calls. Hey, you guys better say this. Hey, you guys better say that. Hey, you guys better say this. And then boom, it turns into Don Lemon having an apology. What are the likelihood he's going to get fired? He's on suspension right now.
I don't think he's going to get fired. There's no
This
way.
morning, just as we came on the air here, this morning, it was announced that he will be reinstated later this week after he undergoes a special training. And they didn't say what that was. It's just special training. And so,
it's called Hustlers University.
Yeah.
He has to enroll into the Tate University.
called Hustlers
He has to get in there and make sure that he has to understand sexual dynamics. He's going to get enrolled. And respect to you, Don Lemon.
To undergo formal training.
God.
Yeah. But by the way, we talked to the initial conversation we had on the episode was, is cancel culture over?
Not for, yeah.
Is this a form of cancel culture
It
that
is.
he can't even state? Like, should he have been suspended for this?
I don't think so. Listen, I
Is this
believe that.
cancel or is this insensitive
Yeah, but dude-
or just wrong?
Dude, hold on. If this was Fox, he would have been fired. There's no take a time out.
No, what do you mean? He would have had a parade.
No. If he offended women like that on a conservative, he's gone. The left, 100% he would have been gonzo.
I think that's the exact opposite.
No, but my point is,
I think if he would have said
Democrats-
this on Fox, the women would have been like, "Yeah, for sure." Like they would have. No,
I don't think so. What I'm saying is the cancel culture on the left is completely
you
different.
think Fox would have been more sympathetic to what he had to say?
They would have not liked what he said.
Are
you
you
have
kidding
to see
me?
the reaction of what a lot of the women. First of all, what did Fox deal with just a few years ago with Megyn Kelly?
Yeah,
With
you know.
What did
Roger
Fox
Ailes,
deal
you
with
mean?
Bill O'Reilly? So
What I'm saying, Pat, my point being, it's not to cut you off, Pat, is the left is way more they look out for each other, bro. The left takes care of their own.
I'm not
They'll
going to
be
say
back.
that either because CNN also fired Chris Cuomo. They fired who's the other person they fired? They
Brian Stelter, or whether it was
Stelter, but it was a few
Jeffrey
of them that they went
Toobin.
through.
Oh, Jeffrey Toobin.
All I'm saying is today
The Mad Jacker.
is a time where you know what they opened it up to though? Guess what they opened it up to? If you say something like that on a podcast, what happens to you? You keep continuing.
Yeah.
If you say something like that. They're just opening it up for people. By the way, if he made a fool out of himself, you can make a fool out of yourself on a podcast. You can make a fool out of yourself on a YouTube show that you're on. Many have, many will continue. It's part of what happens. You're going to get caught. Nobody's undefeated in the boxing ring except for who?
Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather and Marciano, I think, was also undefeated. I don't know if he lost or not. I thought he was.
Marciano.
So for the most part, you're going to get caught. Ali lost 6 times. You're not going to get into a debate and be undefeated in debate. Sometimes you're going to get caught, and this time he got caught. But as crazy as it sounds, if CNN wants to kind of go in the direction of recreating themselves, they have to show how they handle situations like this to allow a person to screw up and then come back versus, hey, we're still walking on eggshells here. So I'm not telling you they should fire him or not fire him. CNN is right now dealing with identity crisis. People go through this. Men go through it when they say we a midlife crisis. You know, they go buy a motorcycle and get a tattoo on their neck. This typically happens at 45 years old, right? No, I'm telling you. You think I'm kidding with you? They get a tattoo. Don't worry. Girls go through midlife crisis. They do stuff and then they get a tattoo on their butt, like on their lower back.
Tramp stamp.
Which is a different story. Everybody goes through a different kind of midlife crisis. Some people start doing steroids to be buffer, bigger, stronger. We all have insecurities that we're trying to stay young forever. This is not an abnormal thing. We're all normal going through these things. Here, these guys are Don's in an organization right now that's trying to recreate themselves. And quite frankly, Don's in the middle right now saying, shit, what do I do to make these guys happy? You know, he's probably there in Miami saying, listen, babe, if they fire me, he's talking to his boyfriend. If they fire me, we got to figure out what to do. We got some money here, but maybe I go start a podcast.
Yeah.
FYI, transitioning from TV to podcast, isn't as easy as they think it is.
Yeah, we learned that with
When
Chris
you're, when,
Cuomo.
when you're on TV, they give you a script. When you got a podcast, man, you better try to keep attention for a couple hours. It ain't that easy to do so, right?
Ask
it's a
Megyn
different
Kelly.
ballgame.
Well, he went off script here. They should have read that
100%.
script.
100%.
Well, can I just say one thing? As someone who's never messed up on a podcast, I've never been called naive. I've never been
Never.
called an idiot. I've never been called a soy boy. I definitely have never had any pushback whatsoever. There's 0 negative comments out there
Never.
about me. 0. Amazing that I've never had an issue. But
No, it never happened once.
never happened. Thanks, Tom.
It's actually hundreds.
But I think it would be a very horrible disservice to cancel Don Lemon for this situation. You screwed up. Like, by definition, you conflated what sexual market value was with market value. CNN has an opportunity here to basically say, hey, we are not the arbiters of cancel culture. Take a day off. Go ahead. We'll see you back. Give a mea culpa when you get back on TV and learn from it. And that's, I think, what the definition of cancel culture should not be, is like, everyone screws up. People are right. People are wrong. There's different opinions. There's all that. That's the whole premise of America, is they be able to have that debate. And when you screw up, you're like, yo, my bad. I'll do better.
Yeah.
And that's what I think he needs to do.
Final thoughts, Yeonmi, on this before we move forward. Is there a message you have for our friend Don Lemon?
Yeah, I think that's what I was writing in my book. Was like, we have right to be wrong. We should have a culture of like mercy. In North Korea, you make one mistake, you get executed. In America, currently, you lose your job, livelihood, reputation, and dignity. But eventually, if you keep pushing this direction, you can end up like North Korea. So now we're somewhere in the middle. We can push backwards, where we have a culture of mercy and let people make a mistake and correct it. So yeah, I don't think he should ever get fired for this. That's so stupid. I mean, no matter what, he has a talent, right? He's a good presenter. So, well, he said sorry, so he should come back.
And he's very, man, like, I wonder when's the last time he watched himself from 10 years ago.
Probably no way.
Yeah.
No way. He's not watching that
But
clip.
like, I was watching a clip this morning. I sent it to Mario. I can't play because the music plays in there. It's an incredible speech that Robert Downey Jr. gives. He's up there accepting an award, and he says, I brought Mel Gibson here to with me while I'm accepting this award. He says, there's a reason why I brought Mel Gibson in. When I was going through my mess, Mel called me, and we were speaking. And he says, listen, man, whatever you do, go find your fate. But it's got to be your fate. I don't care what it is, but go find your fate. He says, I respected the fact that he told me to go find my fate. And I did. And he says, so then there's a movie that while nobody's accepting me, I don't have any money, I don't know how to pay rent, I have a hard time dropping alcohol, I have a hard time dropping anything, Mel gives me a role that he was supposed to take, but he gave it to me. He called me, says, this is for you. He says, that itself helped me so much because it allowed me to pay my bills during this time. And I did that. And then next thing you know, my career takes off. And I told Mel, how can I pay it back to you? And you know what Mel said? Wow. When the next Robert Downey Jr. is going through this, do it for them again. Wow. Okay, because somebody did it for me. You don't hear these types of stories about Mel Gibson, right? About people. The point I'm trying to make is, even a Robert Downey Jr. had to go back and watch some of his old clips to say, dude, look how great you are and how great you can be. You know, sometimes athletes go through, you got to watch old tape of 10 years ago, 5 years ago highlights. I think Don Lemon's got to go watch that clip and say, dude, look at you. You were on fire. His most viral video this week outside of this clip is that clip. That clip got 3.3 million views on Twitter if you go to it. Look at that. 3.3 million views. This was just posted. Let's see when it was posted, by the way. It was posted a few days ago. It's got 8.6 million views. It's what it's got. Why do you think, Don, this has 8.6 million views? No one's taking shots at you. No one's saying anything to you. No one's reacting to this video. It's only content of you speaking, and there's 9 million people that are interested in what you had to say 10 years ago. You may want to play this and watch this while you're on vacation in Miami.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.